The wind howled like an ancient wolf outside the tiny cabin, snowflakes swirling in a furious dance that hammered against the wooden walls. Inside, the hearth crackled, sending jittery shadows darting across the frost-grey planks. Ethan Walker, once a soldier hardened by conflict, sat alone in a battered armchair, clutching a steaming mug of coffee. Solitude was familiar, almost comforting, but tonight an inexplicable tension clung to the air. What was out there that hadn't been here before? A sudden scratch echoed through the cabin, slicing through the wind's mournful song. Ethan paused, brow-knitted, listening as a faint whimper followed. He set his cup aside, leathered fingers curling into the wood of the armrest. Another scratch, softer, pleading. Thundering, he rose and crept toward the door. Bracing against a bitter gust, he flung it open and froze. Before him stood a German shepherd, its coat dark and sodden, snow-crusted with streaks of crimson. Muscles quivered under a threadbare collar, the name a shadow etched into the tarnished tag glinting in the firelight. The dog's strength gave out and it collapsed into the drifts. Ethan's jaw clenched. This was no stray seeking shelter. It was a warrior in distress. He swept Shadow inside, slamming the door against the gale. The cabin's warmth hit them like a wave. Ethan draped a towel over the dog's shivering form, brushing away snowflakes that clung like icy spiders. Shadow's breath came in ragged pants, but though battered and bleeding, its gaze was fierce, urgent. A shallow gash marked its left shoulder, enough to slow it but not break it. The dried mud and tufts of fur hinted at miles travelled through the merciless storm. Shadow rose unsteadily, ears pricked toward the door as if sensing unfinished business beyond the walls. "You want me to follow you, don't?" Ethan whispered. Shadow's soft whine answered. He tore open his rucksack, retrieved a battered first aid kit, and bandaged the wound with methodical haste. Each strip of gauze stung Shadow, yet it stood without complaint. When the last knot was tied, Shadow's amber eyes locked onto Ethan's as if to say there's no time for rest. Gripping his pistol, Ethan shrugged into a heavy coat and snapped on gloves. He met Shadow's determined stare. "Lead the way." Out into the storm they plunged. Every gust stung Ethan's face, snowflakes like needle pricks against his skin. Shadow forged ahead, powerful paws carving deep furrows in the pristine drifts. His military instincts on high alert, Ethan scanned the white expanse for signs of life or threat, aware that each second squandered could condemn someone to a frightening fate. They came upon tire tracks beside Shadow's path, fresh imprints etched into the snow. An uneven drag mark ran parallel, as though someone or something had been hauled through the blizzard. Knee-deep, Ethan fished out a small, sodden handkerchief from the frost, a delicate square embroidered with the initials EC. His breath caught. Emily Carter. Shadow whimpered, eyes alight. No more doubt remained. This was a race against time to save a child in peril. Shadow led them to a ramshackle warehouse hidden beneath frost-coated pines. A dim glow seeped through the warped boards of the door, painting the snow in eerie hues. Ethan crouched behind a tree, noting fresh footprints around the entrance. Two voices droned from within. "Oh, she's not getting out of here. Until her father shows up, she stays." Blood pounded in Ethan's ears. With Shadow at his side, he edged toward the door, muscles coiled to strike. Suddenly, a shadow lunged. Pain flared across Ethan's back as a hidden assailant slammed him forward. But Shadow was quicker. Fierce jaws clamped on the man's arm, eliciting a scream that cut through the night. Ethan spun, delivering a vicious blow that sent the kidnapper sprawling. No respite. Another figure burst through the door, knife glinting. Ethan twisted just in time. Steel hissed past his sleeve. He jabbed back. Shadow snarled, teeth bared, but the second man's boot caught Shadow's ribs, sending the brave dog skidding across the blood-spattered snow. Ethan roared, but the dog grimaced, yanked itself upright, and plunged between the door and the kidnappers, fur matted with blood but spirit unbroken. Ethan's shot rang out, striking the attacker's arm. As the man reeled, Ethan leveled his pistol and barked, "Back off." The surviving kidnapper froze, horror in his eyes. Ethan dashed to Shadow's side, pressing a gentle hand to its head, despite the warmth of fresh blood beneath its fur. "A good boy," he croaked. Shadow lowered its muzzle, but never bowed. Its mission remained unfinished. Ethan pried open the warehouse door. Inside, Emily Carter sat bound to a wooden chair, eyes wide with terror. Her breath caught at the sight of him. I'm a friend of Shadow's, Ethan said softly, kneeling. With calm precision, he cut through the rope. She hesitated only a heartbeat before rushing to Shadow, tears mingling with the dog's matted coat. "You're hurt," she sobbed, stroking his fur. Shadow licked her hand as though to say, "I'm all right now." "The police are on the way," Ethan announced, lifting his phone. The distant wail of sirens crescendoed. Red and blue lights danced across the warehouse's metal walls. Ethan kept his weapon trained on the subdued kidnappers as officers swarmed in, cuffing them without hesitation. Suddenly, the patrol car doors thundered open and a familiar figure burst forward. FBI agent Daniel Carter, face etched with panic and relief. Emily abandoned her trembling embrace of Shadow to cling to her father, sobbing a daddy. Daniel's usually steely composure cracked as he gathered her into his arms. "I'm so sorry I wasn't here sooner," he choked. Ethan lowered his gun, nodding. Daniel's gaze flicked to him, gratitude and old camaraderie shining through. "I owe you everything," he whispered. Ethan managed a curt nod. He'd acted not for debts owed, but for the loyalty of a brave dog. A groan from the injured kidnapper drew their attention. Daniel's tone turned icy as he demanded, "Why my daughter?" The man sneered through bruised lips. 5 years ago you put us away." Revenge, then, had led them here. Ethan stepped forward, voice low and deadly. "This time you won't get another chance." Officers hauled the criminals outside. As the squad car disappeared into the receding storm, Emily returned to Shadow's side, pressing her face into his coat. "You saved me," she whispered. Shadow licked her forehead, promise shining in his tired eyes. "Always." Dawn broke over a hushed forest blanketed in fresh snow, the storm's fury spent. Inside the Carter home, a week later, Shadow rested on a plush rug in a sunlit living room. His wounds were dressed, his breathing even. Emily sat beside him, fingers tracing the fading scars. "You're getting better," she murmured. Shadow thumped his tail, warmth blooming in the room. Ethan watched from the doorway, arms crossed in rare contentment. Daniel approached, hand on Ethan's shoulder. "He's part of the family now, right?" Ethan glanced at Shadow and Emily, their bond unbreakable. A small smile curved his lips. He already has a home. Shadow bounded around Emily, laughter filling the air, no longer a warrior in battle, but a cherished guardian in peace. Family, they all learned, isn't just about blood, it's the circle of trust and sacrifice you choose. If this story touched your heart, share it and honor the heroes who walk beside us, paws and all, for to them we are their entire world. Months passed and life settled into a warm rhythm in the Carter household. Each morning, sunlight danced through lace curtains, painting golden patterns on the living room floor where Shadow lay curled like a coiled spring, ever watchful, ever loyal. Emily, now brimming with newfound confidence, would race down the hallway in her slippers, her laughter ringing like wind chimes, only to skid to a halt at the sight of Shadow's gentle eyes. Together they explored the edge of the forest, where crisp pine scents mingled with the promise of adventure. Shadow led Emily along hidden trails, teaching her to listen for the whisper of wind through branches, the scurry of squirrels in fallen leaves, and the hush of snowflakes drifting to earth. Ethan, though still a stranger to warm family mornings, found himself drawn back to the cabin less and less, his soldier's heart eased by the simple joys he witnessed. Emily's bright smile as she offered Shadow a playful toss of a stick, Daniel's relieved sigh as he watched his daughter thrive, and Shadow's steady presence anchoring them all. At dusk, the three would gather on the porch, flames flickering in a fire pit, sharing tales of the day. Shadow would rest his head on Emily's lap, eyes half closed, as if guarding not just against danger, but against sorrow itself. And when the wind picked up at night, no longer a menace but a lullaby, the family would fall silent, listening to the soft rustle of the dark trees, secure in the knowledge that some heroes wear fur. Yet beyond the forest's edge, another storm quietly gathered. For every protector's rest is temporary, and when the next call for help comes, the bond between a girl and her dog will shine brighter than ever before.